Baby girls across the nation, I don't eat this up. Babe, I know that it's just Woo! Love, love, love. Love, love, love.
Yo, what is up everybody, it is Oakland Shields here, and today I have another video for you guys. Now, I didn't post all last week because I was preparing for more videos and more videos to come, so I have extra videos for you guys just in case I'm not able to make a video on that specific day. So I was making a bunch of videos for you guys so you guys could have videos on schedule every single not every single day, but Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is Dark Souls 2 versus Dark Souls 3, so let's get into the video. Now, Dark Souls 2 and Dark Souls 3 are both amazing games, guys. Do not get me wrong, I love both of them, but I prefer Dark Souls 2, and that is my opinion, and this is the reasons why I prefer Dark Souls 2. Now, they both have major issues inside of both games, but Dark Souls 2 did cover a lot of issues that were present in Dark Souls 1, but they came back in Dark Souls 3 even after they fixed it in Dark Souls 2, which makes no sense whatsoever in my opinion. Dark Souls 3 has some major lag spots, especially in places where there's tons of enemies, things like that. Places like in the Catacombs of Carthus, there are some things there where you lag, and you lag a bunch, and it's just ridiculous why but all three of them have lag issues, but number 2 has the least lag issues inside of the game. Now, Dark Souls 3 does have some major parts, especially when you're fighting the Dragon Slayer armor or the Catacombs of Carthus and places such as that. They do have lag spots in every single place. That's because they have hordes and hordes of enemies that just charge at you, and just a bunch of other reasons. And another thing I do not like about Dark Souls 3 is that it's so fast paced. Like, even though lock-on can't even keep up with the people that you fight, especially when you're fighting the Nameless King. In Dark Souls 2, there are just some little problems that should be fixed, especially when you walk upstairs, it looks like you're floating in the middle of the stairs. That's ridiculous. Like, fix that, please. And I know they don't fix Dark Souls 2 or Dark Souls 1 anymore, but they still should have considered that when they were developing the game and when they came out with the DLC. Dark Souls 3 have some rendering issues as well, especially when you spawn into the game or when you die and you respawn. They need to fix that too. That is just absolutely ridiculous. The game, as soon as you spawn in, you can look on the tiles on the floor or on the walls and it does not render, but when you look 5 seconds later, they do render and they look perfect. I don't understand why they have this issue, and they do need to fix it. I know they're probably still updating and developing the game, and I know the DLC comes out in fall, so I'm hoping all those issues will be fixed by fall. But for now, this is my opinion, and I will make another video when the DLC comes out, and we'll see how much it improved, or if it improved, or if it got worse. I played both of these games on PS4 and Xbox One for Dark Souls 3, and they both have the same issues. I noticed a little bit more issue on the PS4 than the Xbox One because I'm sure they've focused it more on the Xbox One because that's when the original series was. In Dark Souls 3, I feel like they leaned a lot more towards Bloodborne, and I feel like that is a big issue in the game because they took a lot of stuff from Bloodborne and put it into Dark Souls 3, which is okay, but I feel like they should have just made Dark Souls 3 its own, and that is just how I feel. Dark Souls 3 runs really rough, and Dark Souls 2 is so smooth. It is absolutely ridiculous how smooth the game is. It may not look as good, but I don't care. I'd rather it run and not lag. I'd rather it run smooth and be ugly than it running like garbage and look nice. I hope you guys understand that, but I prefer Dark Souls 2 because there's just not as many issues, but there are some major issues in Dark Souls 2, especially when you fight people and they miss you, but sometimes you actually get hit even though it shows on the screen they missed you, which means their hitbox is just a lot larger than the actual weapon or the actual thing they're using itself. They do not have that problem in Dark Souls 3, but Dark Souls 3, there are some issues with lagging and summon signs, such as when you put a summon sign down and somebody tries to hit it, it says unable to summon because you picked up your summon sign, but that's an issue that FromSoft and whoever else, I don't have it right now, but they need to fix that. But they do need to fix the summon signs inside of that game because I just don't understand why there's so many issues in all 3 Dark Souls. But in Dark Souls 1 there are some major issues, and I understand that because that is the first game of Dark Souls. But in Dark Souls 2 they did fix all the issues that were present in Dark Souls 1, but then when they made Dark Souls 3 those issues were present again, especially with summoning, and I understand they put the passwords on, but that should just be something they should have fixed automatically. Summoning is just an issue out through all 3 games, but in Dark Souls 2 it is not that big of an issue. In Dark Souls 3, it's not that big of an issue if you're using a password and you're summoning a friend. That is a whole different thing, I understand. But that should be present in all of the games, because the password did help with summoning friends, and in Dark Souls 1, they did have major issues with summoning friends. In that game, you had to constantly replace for different servers to be able to pick up your sign, things like that. But that's just an issue that is current through all 3 games, and I wish they did have that in Dark Souls 2 and Dark Souls 1. But anyways, in Dark Souls 2, in Dark Souls 2, it's just so much more smoother, and in Dark Souls 3, it is so rough most of the time. They have fixed a bunch of parts, and it was really bad when you first had the game, when it first came out, but it is still a big problem. But I really hope they fix these issues, because it's just so ridiculous why they have these issues in the first place. And the summoning thing, that should be something that should fix down the road. I hope they do that when they do the DLC in the fall, but I'm not entirely sure what they're gonna do with that. I just wish they would fix all the issues in all 3 of the games, even though the games are older. I just feel like they should fix that. In Dark Souls 3, it is just way too fast-paced in my opinion, and I feel like they should fix that. But in Dark Souls 2 is a little slow for my taste, and I wish they would have it in between the medium for Dark Souls 2 and Dark Souls 3. I feel like Dark Souls 1 was the perfect pace for me, and I love Dark Souls 1. It is one of my favorite Dark Souls, but Dark Souls 2, in my opinion, is better than Dark Souls 3, and I hope you guys support my decision. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video today. I love you guys to death. Please comment, subscribe, and like the video if you guys would like. Put in the comments below what you believe you think is better, Dark Souls 2 or Dark Souls 3. I know I kind of went off topic in this video, but that is okay, guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed. I love you guys to death, and peace out.
There'll be girls across the